Piper Niven. Sad tweet this week. I'm borrowing this segment from Solo Monster. The sad tweet this week goes to Piper Niven, who was responding to a tweet put out by Jade Cargill, who was also reacting to a tweet, responding to a tweet that was put out by a fan. So a fan posted a GIF of Jade Cargill doing this fall-away slam to Tiffany Stratton at WWE Night of Champions. Fan said, "Oh, absolutely, Jade." Hashtag WWE NOC. Jade Cargill respond, "Damn, this was beautiful." Crying emoji. Piper Niven responds with, 5 out of 10. Bit sloppy, you didn't transfer her weight onto your chest, so you never really had her. And that's why she slipped and you got that double bump effect. And her head vertebrae on the mat. But you looked great. And who cares who you hurt, so long as you're alright, right? That was Piper Niven's tweet. Now, fans online, this caused a lot of discourse. But fans online raked Piper Niven over the coals with this. And you know what? Rightfully so. Because rather than looking out for your coworker and just pulling her to the side, calling her, texting her, whatever the case might be. And I don't know too much about the drama amongst the women's division, right? I did hear that there is some sort of rumor. I've been disconnected from the wrestling world a little bit, but I did hear some sort of rumor that Jade Cargill has been getting some heat backstage or something along those lines. So maybe this stems from that. Who knows? But back to my original point. Rather than looking out for your coworker, rather than pulling her to the side, calling her on the phone, because, I mean, in Piper's case, she's injured, pulling her on the phone, calling her on the phone, texting her, whatever it is you could be doing. There's a million other ways to handle this privately. She decided to go public with this and ultimately attempt to bury Jade Cargill, who is still a newer worker. She's going to learn on the job. Clearly, that's just what position she's in. It's not enviable, to be honest with you. Right? But she is green. That's very noted. And Piper Niven, for her to just go out on Twitter and just basically cause all of this discourse, which of course it's going to get people to dogpile on Jade Cargill. That's exactly what this is going to accomplish. For her to do that and then get some backlash recourse back on her, to which she later would delete the tweet, you know what? I say that's just karma. That's just karma. Right? Because you did not have to do this. Right? And I always hate when the intentions of someone is to harm the other person, make them look bad, that sort of thing, bury them, much in the same way CM Punk did to Chris Jericho. I'm going to talk about that in another video. When the intent is dirty, right? Whatever backlash you get, that kind of falls on you now. And likewise with this tweet here, Piper essentially got exactly what she had coming to her. And I hate to say it, right? Because I like Piper Niven. I'm not too familiar with her work. I'll be honest about that. Right? I think from the limited interactions I've seen of her, right? I know that there was this viral video of her going around where she did a front elbow drop on Brie Bella or Nikki Bella and injured Nikki Bella. right? And it was a nasty fall, right? People were dogpiling on her for that, and people were using that as a response to her tweet. Um, like, I'm not going to dogpile on Piper for that. Look, freak accidents happen, right? And to my knowledge, this is one of the first times Piper's ever done something like this, right? If she were like Nia Jax, who was consistently injuring people left and right, like back during Nia Jax's first run, I'm talking about here, right? If it were like that, then I could understand using that video as reference. But if that's the only time she's actually ever injured anyone and accidentally injured anyone, I'm not exactly going to jump on Piper for that reason. However, everything else is still true, right? There are people online who have my take on this and say that she should have just pulled Jade Cargill to the side, kept this matter private. She should not have went public with this. But now when you put something like this out into a public forum, you're going to get people raking you over the coals. And you know what? That again, there's really not much else to say about it other than she had what was coming to her. Right? And again, I'm a fan of Piper Niven. I remember watching her in the Elimination Chamber a couple of years ago as a heel, and I thought her work was solid. I was very impressed with her performance. Whatever year that was, I'll be honest, it's been so long. But whatever year that was, I was impressed with Piper's work. So it's not like I dislike her. And I remember her even having a program with Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. That one was a pretty cool program as well, from what I remember. So ultimately, this is disappointing to see. And I think if you're Piper Niven, the right move after putting out a stupid tweet like this was to pull the old tweet and delete. She did the right thing. She deleted her tweet. Got people off her back, probably not. I don't know. But now this will live in infamy. And in reality, the best approach to have done something like this was to not tweet at all. Right? If her and Jade Cargill are at odds, right? And that's what it sounds like this is, right? Just based on how passive aggressive this tweet was. The best approach was to just not do or say anything. Because you just made yourself look bad in return. And then where does that get you? So, Piper, I really hope she learned from this, and I hope she does not speak from a horse's ass like she did on this day ever again.